Good morning, everyone. Hello. We're early today. Hello. It is 25th of May and it's 1:15 almost. And yeah, I thought it might be an interesting day, even though there's a bank holiday. I'm aware, but we have a beautiful gap up, and I don't know, it might be still interesting because it's a bank holiday. They don't expect a lot of people maybe to be around, and that's maybe when we're finally hitting that nice high that we've been waiting for such a long time. How's it going, everyone? How is it going? I put on a poll because I thought it was really an interesting question. I was thinking about something that I heard a couple of times, and like, how do people actually view their A plus setup? And I was actually thinking about it a couple of weeks ago already, and I'm like, okay, well, let's do a poll and let's talk about it because I think it's an interesting discussion to have. And to make people maybe a little bit more aware that when is something an A plus setup and when do you use it, right? And how do you use it, right? But anyway, I know there is not a lot of people yet because it's too early, but let's see. I mean, how's you guys? How have your weekend been? Did you do anything nice? Did you do some back testing? Did anyone do some trading related stuff? Not that it's necessary, but who did? Who are the nerds? Um, Okay, let me just, I actually want to change my screen a little bit. Hold on, I want this point of interest. Obviously, this is a point of interest for me. Let me see. Let me see. So we definitely opened up with we gapped down and then we moved away from the gap, right? Um, just want to add this. Okay, here we go. Okay, let me see, which screen am I sharing? Okay, now I do want to change screens. Hold on. Yeah, this is the one I want. Okay. Okay. Hey, Trading Days, how are you? How's it going? Good morning. Good morning for those early birds or late birds. How is it going? We're a little bit different in time today. Okay. I'm just, something is for me, why am I streaming? Because I actually wasn't planning to do so. And then I saw all those headlines this week. There was so much fake news coming out. And I was like, okay, um, weekend is here, long weekend. We're very close to that 30,000 level that I've been, and I said last week, if we go back to that 135 level, I think that's the level we're going to blast off, and that's might be the last. I could be totally wrong, but that is just something that I already had in my head, like 135, and then we make that last run. And we have never gone, that was Thursday, and we haven't gone lower from that level, and we gapped up. So I'm sort of like curious to see maybe today if we do get that run to the upside, maybe. And let's see. I mean, I'm very curious to see. That's why I thought, let's start earlier, because who knows what they're going to do. It might be in London. It might be. The markets are open until 1 Eastern, I believe, right? If I'm not mistaken. Hey, Priya, how are you? Yeah, guys, please feel free to join the poll because I think it's a very interesting topic, and I really want to give it some perspective to say, especially for people that are new to trading and just starting out, because I think it's hard. in the beginning to find your A plus setup. How do you, where do you start? How do you find your model? How do you grade it? Where do you put your benchmark? So I really want to, yeah, Priya, why do you think? Uh, I think it's interesting because of the news, and I've always said like, okay, you know what? Last week I said we're very close to that 4 standard deviation from the weekly and the daily, and I believe around 30,000, maybe between 30,000 and 3,100. I've marked my point of interest for today. If it blasts through this, we'll see. I mean, I think I wanna watch this area. Maybe I have to adjust. Hold on, I made it very early. Let's see if I can. I need to adjust. Ooh, no, it's still my point of interest, definitely. Um, Let me see. I might have to adjust it a little bit. No. Because it's being a bank holiday and weekends, news tend to, lately, because we've been news driven, you've seen that they wait for news until after the weekend. And I think because it's a bank holiday today and a short day, not much volume. I'm just sort of thinking maybe the crazy move is going to come today. I might be totally off, but I thought, you know what, let's start early. And yeah, let's give it a go. There's still a lot of people that are willing to trade. Have you been, anyone put a trade on Asia? Did anyone catch the move to the upside? It's very strong. It just, we gapped down and then we just moved away. I mean, technically it's not a gap down, but balcony, 150 points. Well done. Okay, so far 6 votes, 67. So 2/3 yes, and 1/3 no. Priya, what's your answer? Would you rate a 60% win rate an A plus setup or not? Did you anticipate? Just curious what you think. Now, for those who are more experienced, refrain from giving your logic in the chat, because I really, really want more people to give their honest opinion, because I think it's a very, very interesting topic, and I think a lot of people might have some benefit from it. Oh, 71%, 7 votes. I like it. Keep them coming, guys. Okay, let's see. I think we might have some stalling here, which is okay. Those who use IPTA levels, IPTA look back, I marked this daily FUG, which is just below 50% of the IPTA 20-day look back. We're nearing the end of the month, and I'm thinking, are we gonna go really lower than 20%, than the 50% of the IPTA 20? Could be once we hit the high, but for me, this daily fair value gap has my attention on the way down, and if we go lower than that, I'll reassess. Yeah, let me see. I want to look at the objectives. Very early today, yes. Hey Ahmed, how are you doing? My setup is not good for all-time highs. Ergonomic, we're just talking, this is just a general question. If you're talking about the poll. And for those who are more experienced, don't put your logic in the chat yet because I really, really hope more people will anticipate. And exactly, Reddit. I was just actually saying for those who are more experienced, do not, but it's okay. Yeah, it definitely is a big part of it. Yes. People who say no instantly, yeah, it is a big part of it. Well, let's see. I mean, there's going to be a lot of chat above it, and people are not going to read the chat anyway. But it is. It depends on more things, right? But I think obviously. Did anyone new people came in and managed to get the trade in Asia? So Asia, if we have Asia large range, could be consolidation in London, but for me the question more is now: are they going to, because it's a holiday? I think we're really close to a top. Now I could be totally wrong, but calculated from all the way at the bottom from end of March, we blasted through 2.5 standard deviations. We are literally at 4 standard deviations, very, very close. And now we could blast off all the way to 6. I mean, crazier things have happened, but I really think we're very close to a no, Reddit. I'm going to come back to you because I'm really curious what else you have to say about it. But let's wait until more people have joined the pool. And I think it's such a good discussion, especially for those who are new. Um, Now, most people don't even take the time to backtest something that they're working on over 100 trades. But I'm sure there are a couple of people that have done it. But if not, it might encourage some people to start doing it because and lately also I've heard a couple of times that people were honest enough last week to share their that they over leveraged themselves because they saw their A plus setup, and it's really something that I really want to get people to understand that even an A plus setup doesn't give you 100% win rate, so you should never approach it in that way as well. But yeah, I mean, let's give it some time, and now back to trading for now, or obviously it's about trading. We only talk about trading here, but let's talk setup. Let's talk London time, or what's happening now. It's too early for the 150. $210 macro. I might even do the 150. I think I like the, because we got such a gap up, I would like to see the 150 as well. Let me do that. The 050. I want to see what the 050 has done. Mm. Okay, so this macro created the high and just pierced through it. Okay, I don't need that anymore. I know enough. Um, well, that's the thing, right, Reddit? I mean, it's not about, it is about probabilities, exactly, but an A plus setup is something that just gives you a better chance of a high probability, right? And it's backed by data. It's all backed. It's the point is it's something. How to get rid of FOMO is making it more mechanical. How do you make it more mechanical? By something that's being backed by data and that you can feel more comfortable because you have stats on something. But your stats know that you can always fill as well, or there is that percentage. Um, well, it's yeah, I guess the point is that you're okay if it fails that one time because you know it's there's always the possibility that it can fail. So you're okay with that. It doesn't put you off because if you have another 10 of those moments passing by, you know that if you have one loss of it, you know, okay, you know what? I know this model presents itself 10 times per month, for example. And you've tested it many, many times. You know you can trust it. And then you're okay with that loss, right? Because you know it'll come by again. But yeah, let's see, 80% yes, 10 votes so far. Well, let's give it some time. Okay, guys, we've got 30,000 right over here. I am wondering the 150 to 210 macro is going to give us here or maybe even here in that point of interest. And then I'm just going to I'm not trying to pick a top, okay? I'm just for me it's all about observing. And I really think it's such a it's going to be very interesting area because are we nearing the top? I would rather wait for confirmation for a short than just trying to catch the top. We're on all-time highs again. Are we on all-time high? Obviously, also on yes. But I'm really looking forward to this macro and 3 o'clock. Let's see. Yeah, it's a bank holiday, but I do think it's going to be interesting today. That's why I decided to do the stream and start early. because of all the news, fake news, and the distractions that they were coming out. I'm like, what's going on, right? It's a tricky day. Yeah. Yeah, New York. So I didn't realize that New York was going to be open until 1 Eastern. But yeah, let's just watch, guys, and all the information we're going to collect, we can use tomorrow, or maybe even trade today if there's a plus setup. But hey, guys, we're all-time highs. Uh, I don't know how many people have an A plus setup around all-time highs. I don't really, to be honest. But yeah, but we'll see. There's going to be low volume, but I just can't shake something out of my head that I think that might do a big move on a day like this. Who's with me? There's so much going on. We've been going up for almost 2 months. We're going to such an important level of it's 4 standard deviations from the daily. We blasted through 2.5. We've gapped up. Now they could leave it for tomorrow and just gap down. I'm not going to engage only paper trade for me today. I don't care if I miss the move. I would rather learn. I just find it very interesting. Guys, join the poll if you want. I'm really curious to see your how you guys think about the 60%, if that's an A plus setup for you guys. So also remember we had a beautiful, well, I don't want to say beautiful TGIF. There was a TGIF. We went back to 20% of the weekly range at the end of the day, Friday. So it wasn't easy to trade Friday. I had a beautiful opening trade. I'm just going to stick to one trade per session. I actually tried again, and that was my mistake. Then I had a losing trade, but it was a small loss. But I had a beautiful opening trade. It was 107 points. And then it went back up again just to extend a little bit higher, and then it went back into that weekly range. So it was technically a beautiful TGIF. Was it easy to trade? No, it was not. Ink, that's midnight. It's midnight. Midnight is algorithmic start of the day. So you think NQ will be more than 2% of the day? You mean if it goes to my point of interest, if that's 2%? In all fairness, I don't know if we're going to go there. We might stall here and start going down. But if it goes here, I'm very, very interested to see what happens. When I say point of interest, it's more like an area where I would like to see what it's going to do. If that makes sense. It's not like, oh, it's not like my high or my, it's just more for me like, okay, if it happens to be able to reach there, is it, it's an area where I would very be focused to watch. Okay, let's watch if we're going lower or, okay, how much points did we make from Asia high to Asia low? Oh man, I just love tape reading. I just love work. Who else has been working on any models this weekend and back testing and stuff like that? Okay, let's see. Okay, so we gapped up 161 points in Asia only. The full move is higher. This is just a move from 8 o'clock. $230. What's your 2 cents on instant funded accounts? Well, it depends. You know what I noticed on those instant funded accounts? They have so much, the ones that I noticed, but correct me if I'm wrong. The ones that I noticed and I looked into, they had such a high consistency rules that they didn't interest me. If they would have a consistency rule of 40%, I might be interested. But um the ones that I noticed had such a, I didn't like the rules. So I would rather have the go for the legacy or the bold or funded next, for example, that I have no consistency rules on. And it just takes a few days to pass. And if the rapid only takes 1 day to pass, but then you have consistency rules again. But if you have a couple of them and you have a legacy and a rapid, you have one where you have consistency rules and one. Um, I don't know. Sometimes it's just also, it forces you to be more patient to pass the eval. And sometimes I just sort of like, yeah, exactly. They have such a ridiculous consistency rules that I'm like, yeah, it's just, it's not interesting to me to, then you have instant funded, but then you're so limited because now there's nothing, I don't think a consistency rule is bad because in some cases it's okay to have it, but I don't know, Reddit, are you talking about a specific one? Because I'm just, if they could have instant funded with a very good consistency rule that you can still, it's not too limiting, I would still be okay with it. But the ones that I noticed, they just have ridiculous consistency rules, much higher than on the regular. Uh, but I don't know. Maybe I haven't looked into it for a long time because I'm just sticking to the ones that I have and I haven't changed for a while. I'm very loyal actually to Funded Next lately. But hey, listen, guys, I saw some things coming by also about Apex. I mean, they just, is it, are anyone having issues with, yeah, 20%, yeah, F off, yeah, yeah, I mean, that's ridiculous. So rather than either go for a eval where you have consistency maybe during the eval, and then in funded you don't have consistency rules, but it takes a little bit more time. But, you know, I mean, a 50K account, if you have an A+ setup, going back to the A+ setup, you can technically, does Apex, you mean on the funded, straight to funded? Do they have straight to funded? I don't know. I haven't looked. Well, it's on Mail. Check out Funded Next, because Funded Next has the evals. There you have consistency rules and then no consistency rules on. And the legacy has, you can pass in 1 day. And then you have consistency rules. So I vary a little bit with depending on Lucid. Yeah, I don't trade Lucid because I think South Africa is banned from Lucid. So that's why I didn't look. But I think Lucid is very good. I mean, I hear only good things about Lucid, to be honest. Not so much about Apex though. Okay, so let's get back to who has an A+ setup that has 60% win rate? Anyone? Anyone uses one 60% or has started with one? Maybe a better question. Does anyone have a model that they have backtested and they have data telling them that they have 60% win rate, or they started with that model of a 60% win rate? There we go. I love it. Navo, would you? I have one. Okay. Okay, I want to talk about it because I think people have a misconception about A+ setups. They think A+ setup has to have 100% win rate. If people, sometimes I hear people say, yeah, I saw my A+ setup, so I over leveraged and then they lost everything and then they have a bad day because they say they saw our A+ setup. Now, I question a little bit if it's an A+ setup that they really back tested, but people call something an A+ setup very quickly that they recognize as a pattern or whatever. But it's a negative R to R with close to 70% win rate. Now, okay, so let's say you are new and you're just starting out and you are still finding your models because it's hard to find your models, right? You hear something, everybody told the model 2022, it doesn't mean shit if you have not back tested it yourself and don't know what to look for. So let's say you start out with anything, it doesn't matter, but then again, you're still making a lot of mistakes because you're new and execution is still difficult, and that is always difficult depending on the market. But let's say you do have, and Reddit already mentioned it, he said win rate. Yeah, because he says R to R, because a win rate on its own doesn't mean shit, right? Some people ask me, what's your win rate? I'm like, okay, that's either a troll, because it doesn't mean anything if you don't combine it with more data, right? It's all in comparison to other things. Now, let's say you have a new model and you have a 3 R2R, but you only have 60% win rate and it's your first model. Hell yeah, that's an A+ setup. I would call that an A+ setup because you're starting out and you're still refining, because that's the thing. Even though you start out, you're still refining them, right? I mean, I am. So if that is your starting point, and that's the only model you have so far, but you have 100 trades, 60% win rate, but you have a 2R win rate or even 3R, because it's a very solid, it's a very good setup. I think people can call that their A+ setup. But then again, they always have to be aware of that 40%. Like, okay, but that 40% doesn't have to stay 40% because you're still working on it, right? You're still refining your moments when to stay out of that model, because you're starting to refine that 60%. Like, okay, that's where the journaling comes in. So you still have a couple of losing trades, but then you start to reverse engineer, like, okay, what happened? And then you can pick out more situations not to enter in that model because you're still working on it. So I definitely, if someone has, I mean, but there are not many people that are even taking the time to do this. But for those who are, if you can find a model to start with and you have a 60% win rate with more than two, it has to be more than 2R. Technically even 1.5, well, even over 1.5, but it's definitely you can definitely rate it A+ setup, but you have to have risk. You have to be aware of risk management. People don't even want to think about risk. It's all about risk to reward. But if you are not risk averse and not thinking about that, you're literally just gambling and not understanding that A+ setup can be a model that only gives you 60% win rate. Such a good point, Nabo. Also, most people miss out on the variance part. A low variance can keep you in the red, even if you are just starting out until your edge shows up. Can keep you out, yeah, keep you in red. Yeah, and it comes back to patience, which is the hardest part, right? Waiting for that setup, which people are not doing. But yeah, A+ setup can be a 60%. And again, an A+ setup never is 100%. I don't have a 100% win rate on any of my models, not any of them. I am still fine-tuning those. I'm still looking for moments to actually stay out, so I can make my 60, 70% to 80%, and maybe even to 85, 90. So I'm still working on that. But yeah, 60% for a beginner is pretty awesome. But then again, you have to take into account win rate and maybe even seasonal tendencies. But that comes over time when you're journaling. You always have to keep on journaling, because maybe in spring the model works better than maybe in autumn or whatever, because there are seasonal tendencies as well. But yeah, yeah, and Navo, also, does your exactly Reddit? Yeah. Yeah, so something with 60% can be, but it all comes down to personal stuff, right? It's all personal. It's how it becomes your model, and every model, we all learn the same. We can watch the same video, but you can, tweak it to your personal favorite. Some people use an order block, some people use a breaker, some people, take a little bit more risk because they have back tested that little part of that area that gives them those few points earlier to start, to enter it. But it all comes down to how much back testing have you done and how much risk are you willing to take. It's all about how much risk are you willing to take. But yeah. Interesting. Well, thank you guys. Thank you for joining the pool. But yeah, so for beginners, don't feel disencouraged when when you're starting out and you just have 60%, because it's actually pretty good if you have a 2R, if you can make it, if it's gives you constantly 2R trades. So yeah. There are even people that are profitable with less than 50, with a win rate than less than 50% on some models. I know people that are literally profitable with less than 50% win rate. But I would not encourage that, to be honest. I think that's just when you're more profitable and you are figuring out stuff. But everyone has their cookie cutter, OB, and so on, pick a market. Yes. Yeah, novel, but it's also important that I hear people sometimes say, yeah, my A plus setup presented themselves and they over leveraged. And I think people want to, it's, you still have to be risk about, it's still about the risk, right? Because even your A plus setup is there, it is not 100%. You cannot just, YOLO everything, your house on it because it's your A plus setup. You still can't do it because it is still only 60% or 70%. And that's what people tend to forget sometimes. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I totally know. But that's why if you make it more data, if it's all about data, you get rid of that feeling, right? You just stick to those rules. The most important thing is to always stick to your structure and to your rules. And then you'll be green. It might not be green in that day because the market is not providing you and you want to see that. People that say, yeah, I want 250 per day or 500 per day. I mean, that's just, it's not how the market works. You have to look per week, per month, and at some point you'll get to look over a year. But yeah. Okay, thank you guys. Okay, let's get back to I'm gonna close the curtain. Yeah. Okay, let's have a look. If we're going to hang around here and consolidate, which I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, it isn't a formal sector like engineering or medical where you can be guided by mentors and people around you. Yeah, and it's more like we are more rewarded by doing less and then more, and that's the hard part, right? I'm also very I'm gonna put on a paper. Just want to open up my paper trading. So for today, I'm just gonna paper trade. Why is it not working? I'm not putting on a trade, but I want to this is the easy way for me to open up the. There we go. There's also no shame in paper. This is where I get my most information from, God. Paper trading makes me a better trader. Lately I mean, you can see it in the Discord and especially pre-market prep. My average trades are not below 100 points lately. And why? Because I'm doing so much paper trading. I think I really grew as a trader this year. My average wasn't this high last year, not at all. Or gets path to success. Hello, Iris. I'm new to your channel. Let's have a great day trading. Yeah, or at least get a lot of info, right? Did you do well in Asia? What time were we? Okay, from 11 o'clock, we've been consolidating. Okay, I want to see if we can expand higher in this macro. Um, 939, 940. 940. Okay, if we're gonna go lower, I like 940 level here. No, the screen is on where it's supposed to be. No, yeah, I mean, just let's just be careful today. Um, See it as an Intel day for the rest of the week, right? Rejection block here. Rejection. Going lower. I like 940-ish. Let's put a paper trade on. 202. I like it. Just paper trading today. I like 440. Look, if we're just going to consolidate here, it might not even go lower. It might just consolidate here and just stay above midnight. I'm going to bring my TP. Um, I don't want it to go higher. I want very limited stop loss. It could just go, if we're going to consolidate here, it just could go nowhere and then not even go lower than here. So let's see. Could just spike back up. See, we left equals here. Where is the 150 macro? You see, it's also a little bit I don't want to use the word dangerous, but you always want to go long above below midnight and short, but I wonder if we already have the full. I wonder if this is the short to take from the. That's what I'm saying. I don't trust it. It could take me out. And like I said, this is my point of interest. But let's see. If this trade doesn't work out and it goes higher, I might be very interested in a short if it goes higher, but let's see. King asked if I'm trading paper trade. I always trade paper trade my first few trades in the morning. Yes, I can highly advise everyone to do that. There is no monetary win or loss, anything. I don't care if it's a winning trade, if I don't make any money on a winning trade. It just tells me that I am in tune with the market, I'm reading the market properly. That's far more important to me than having a winning trade. Now, obviously, I want to make money in the market, but I don't care. I'm always testing myself in the morning. So, like, am I reading the market correctly? Is my brain working? Is my internet working? Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if if we do not go lower than midnight during this macro. So we could spike back up and maybe go to this point of interest here. We'll see. Oh, shoot. So the macro's over and we did not really run. So that tells me that it might go back up again, which is okay. I would prefer it to go higher. Where's my drink? Have you traded MGC? I haven't traded MGC today. I haven't actually looked at MGC actually, to be honest. Let's have a look how so if I trade, I only trade MNQ and MGC lately, but I do chart on GC and on NC. Okay, gap down and Q gapped up. Yeah, I think we're going back higher. I prefer it to go higher. I would actually get out of the trade. Let me get out of this trade. I don't like it anymore. It's either going to be chop or it's going to be, I don't think interested. Hey Joe, hey Lars, how are you doing? I live in South Africa, but I'm from the Netherlands originally. Mm, mm, mm. Yeah, Lars, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Had a good weekend. Had some fun, but also obviously we did some charting. And then I noticed the holiday schedule. And I'm like, okay, there is trading until 1, but that didn't interest me. But then with the news, what's going on, I'm like, is this a time that they might move the market a little bit? So I think it's still interesting to have a session today. I wasn't planning actually, because I thought, hey, holiday, let's still take a break. But here we are with 72 people, and just see what the market is doing, and if it doesn't provide any good setup, it gives us intel for tomorrow, right? Now, obviously, it is low volume because everyone is on holiday. Every country has It's Memorial Day in the US, and in Europe there is Pentecost. So there's obviously low volume. US, GBP, German, French. Yeah, I mean, so that's, yeah, low holiday. But they can still move the market though. I'm just sort of like, now they moved the market up quite a bit, right? But I'm just curious to see if they might make that final push. Yeah, so Lars, I'm just paper trading today, maybe the whole day, unless I really see, but it's low volume, so you have to be careful. But yeah, I mean, paper trade and just maybe, yeah, Bryce, I agree. But the thing, well, volume doesn't matter, but on low volume days, the moves can be very spiky, and if you're on the wrong end, so I don't want to encourage people to to treat it the same way as we do, because low volume can indicate on very fast and nasty, and especially if we're at the top, it can be quite volatile and it might be a very, very big spike to the upside. And if you're not in it on the wrong side, it can cause a lot of damage. So hey, company Minka, how are you doing? Hey, listen, I don't, volume for me doesn't matter at all. As for me, it's just I rather position myself before the volume gets in. So I totally agree with you. But on low volume days, I do take it in consideration in the sense of that you can get very hostile, fast move, unpredictable moves that go to a specific target because it's low volume and they're just sort of like manipulate. It's more manipulative. It can be more manipulative in the sense of in that way. But yeah, technically for me, volume doesn't matter at all. How are you doing, company man Carl? How was your weekend? Did you do anything nice? Did you? What time is it? 2:18. We're at midnight right now. Let's see what we're doing, if we're gonna break. There is a fair value gap below us, right? So I said 240 might be a nice area for me. I wanted to take, but it's too slow for me. Which is no, I mean, I hate I hate these slow moves, as you guys know. I hate it. I need to see what's happening. You hear that? Trumpeter hornbill? Hello. Hello. My friends. My trumpeter hornbill friends. They're so cute. The only thing they do, you hear that? It's like a trumpet. It's like it's like they're called trumpeter hornbills, and they're very they make a lot of well, they literally play the trumpet, but they're very like I think they they have a bond with the owner because every time they have like big beaks. I don't know if you can see them, but they tick on the shower glass, and it's like, oh my god, you're breaking the glass. But I think it's sort of like communicating or saying hello, but it's like, and like, oh my god, be careful, you're just damaging. But yeah. My weekend was good, and yeah, so I'm a big fan of Grand Slam tennis tournaments. I used to play tennis when I was younger, but I could not continue because of my back. But I still watch Grand Slam, and the Roland Garros, the French Open, has started. So this week I will definitely, during daytime, watch some tennis as well. So I'm happy that today is not a full trading day, so I can also watch tennis today. I love I just I don't play anymore, but I just love watching the Grand Slams. It's one of my favorite things to do. So I'm looking forward. So yesterday I watched a little bit of tennis. Actually, I also binge watched a series. Had some lunch with friends, had other dinner with other friends, and yeah, the weekend goes always fast. Okay, so we're going into that fair value gap. Hey, Luca, how are you doing? And I went in and I was back testing a few of my, I'm still looking for new models as well. So back testing and charting. Yeah. See, I just hate in being in these slow moves, but it's still. Okay, let's see. Well, like I said, 1936, 936. Take this off here. Let's see how we're going to react here. I think I want to get some coffee downstairs. 125. Luca, well, I haven't been up all night, but I think 30K area. My point of interest is I indicated it, but I don't want to pick tops or bottoms, but for me, it's more interesting to see how we're going to react over there. And the gap up and the news made me very, very eager. That's why I started the stream earlier, because I was like, are they going to do something like that on a low volume day, right? I mean, or, so I'm just really, really curious to see what they're going to do today. And I don't know. There's just something telling me that it's a good day to watch, and maybe, paper trade, and maybe there's an A+ setup for me. But if not, it just gives a lot of intel for tomorrow. I don't know. There's just, hey, they could also bring it back all the way back to the N walk today, and then bring it back up to anything is possible. But I just something I don't know. We need to, what we do want to see is maybe a nice leg down, one more leg up. So you want a future breaker, right? So we do need a nice leg down and then another leg up, and then in order to have a new breaker, we do need something of a move to the downside. But yeah, we'll see. We're just watching for now and just seeing the daily so far. Okay, this is the 4%. This is 4 standard deviations from. We technically hit 4 standard deviations already. So that's why I'm sort of like very curious. What are your top 3 psychological learnings? Ooh, nice question. Top 3. Well, top 3 for me, how I think I should approach it from my struggles, I guess. So my number one struggle will always be something I always have to be aware of is patience. So if I'm not patient, I fall in the trap and I can fall in the trap of over trading, over leveraging because it's just the brain doesn't work the way it should work. So how did I approach that? Now, I was always confused with when people said, yeah, it's just 20% technicals and it's 80% psychological. But I was like, so while I was really working at it and trying to get better, and I was like, yeah, but I am disciplined. But still, it did not work in the way that I wanted it to work. So I thought, well, I actually got to a point that I don't believe that anymore, that it's just 80% psychological. Because if it is, and we all know it, why is most of us are failing? So, but then I was thinking, yeah, okay, if it's psychological, I think it's more biological. So why am I saying biological? I think it's just the brain, how the markets are designed for us to fall in that trap of fear and greed. The market is designed around those two things. And I'm like, okay, if I can't, if I told myself so many times, oh, now I'm really not going to blow my account anymore. And now I know how it feels and I've been through it. Now it will change. But I still wasn't sure how I could really change that. And then I got to the point, okay, I think I figured it out. It's not my discipline because I've got discipline, but I still didn't know how to apply it to the market at that time, I believe. So, but then listening to other mentors of mine and people that I was following who were successful, I'm like, okay, I see they made everything mechanical. So for me, it's data. So how do you really work on your psychology is actually taking away the emotion out of trading. So it's not about like, oh, the psychological part, thinking like, okay, I have to, we all know, you've heard the same things over. We've heard them thousands of times. So it's having a set strict of rules, mechanical. I did the poll this morning about A plus setup, for example, and having a very mechanical approach to trading. So everything has to be backed up by logic and data for me. Now, that doesn't mean it gives you 100%, but it takes out the emotion of it. And it helps me with my patience as well. Because once you have backup by data, you know what you're looking for, you know what to wait for. Now, it can be a challenge. So you still have to have a strict set of rules. But for me, my biggest growth came from being more patient, which the channel helped me with, but also being more mechanical about everything. For me, every trade has to have logic behind it. I have to be able to explain the trade. And then obviously then comes my risk management as well, that comes to it. But so it's very funny that actually I've turned away from psychological learnings. It's more like, how do I trick my brain? How do I trick my brain? Because it's just biology. We've all said the same thing. Oh, now I'm not going to lose my accounts anymore. I know what to do. I've been through it. But the moment you fall into that same trap, your brain doesn't think that way anymore. So I think it's more my biological learnings is, how can I prevent my brain from making cortisol? How can I reset my brain again if I am in that trap? If I do, because I still fall into that trap sometimes. I'm not immune to it. If I'm by myself and trading and I'm bored and I start entering in a trade like, oh, I think it's gonna happen. I'm not following my rules. The moment I do that, my brain already goes into, oh shit, I made a mistake. Let me quickly correct it, because that's how it works, right? So again, it's a trigger. It's like an alcoholic, putting an alcoholic in a bar where they can only order alcohol, right? And it's the same with just entering a trade. Like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to press the button and see what if it's 50-50. I'm close to passing my exam. I don't want to wait. I don't want to wait for my setup. I'm just going to do it. And then it doesn't work out. And then you're, oh shit, okay, that wasn't a mistake. Let me quickly Yeah, but and then the wait. So this is such a, and you know what, guys? The waiting is the hardest part. But the more I've been on stream waiting in London, and then my good setup with my 100 between 100 and 200 points present themselves in New York, and I'm able to grasp them, which I've actually done pretty well lately, and it's all documented in the Discord. The moment you start seeing those rewards happen more and more, you get more used to it. But it takes time and it takes a lot of mistakes. But the moment you, and that's why I said the channel really helps me as well. But you need to document everything, and that's why the journaling comes in. So the number one thing comes back to patience, but patience also in working on the process and not focusing on the people that are focused on just the reward. It will be very difficult to become profitable, because it is the process before that reward that's more important. And until you don't see that, you will be humbled by the market many times. I've been there. You know, during COVID, everything I did really well, and you get cocky and like, oh my God, I'm new, but you know, I don't need to journal because I can see it more clearly than other people. I'm the exception to the rule. I didn't think that explicitly, but you know, technically I did, because why would I journal if I'm doing well? But I was just being lucky. I was just being lucky. And then, you know, we all know how it goes, but yeah. Yeah. So I really find it hard. I really think the psychological people over, I think, give too much credit to the psychology part, and literally giving it 80%. So literally thinking, oh, I don't have to do the journaling, I don't have to do this. If I just work on my psychology, and they think they know what's wrong, then they have sorted it out. And I made that same mistake, but I don't think it's 80% psychology. I think 80, I think I think it's literally, I really want to add biology in the equation. And I think that's far more important than the well, it's a combination of biology and psychology. And most important is when you are in that trap, how do you reset yourself, right? How do you get your cortisol levels down again? How you're able to get back to neutral. And that is all, those should be, that should be set by rules, how you can trick. It's about tricking your brain, because it's all very unnatural what we're doing in trading. We're not solving problem. You know, when you solve a problem in real life, you have to be proactive. You have to go get the issue sorted. You have to be proactive. You've got to do things to get things done. But in trading, we have to actually step away and not do anything. And that's where we have to trick our brains. So yeah, yeah, maybe that's the right term, neurobiology. I think, yeah, I think neurobiology is actually the, but I would definitely, I would rather, I really want to, if people say, yes, 80% psychology, I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I don't think it is, but um, I still believe data is the most important thing, because data takes away your FOMO, and your anxiety, and it makes you just feel, you can trust data. And it's your data. You can trust it. Um, so, but then again, everything comes back to patience. Patience building your data, patience in the market, um, patience of walking away and staying away for that. Let's say if your rule is, okay, if I had a winning trade, for example, I mean, you can see the mistake that I made like a couple of times, and especially pre-market prep. I did it a couple of times, and it gave me my lesson again. So I had a winning trade, opening range trade, and pre-market prep. I set my levels, everything was correct. I was able to get a very good trade. And then I'm like, oh my God. And then I get back in another trade. And the second trade was a losing trade. Now my risk management didn't allow me to lose a lot, but why did I get in that second? Why didn't I just stop? I have my winning trade, it's over 100 points. You're done. I'm done for the day. I'm done for New York AM session. But every time when I get back in a trade, it's a losing trade, straight after the one that I win. My data tells me that I shouldn't do that, and I did it a couple of times. And I've got and I just also in the Discord I said, okay, I got stopped out, and it's right after my winning trade. I did Friday as well, same thing. And I'm like, okay, why didn't I just stop? Because I feel pressure, maybe because I want to, give people more. I don't know what it is, but um, so yeah, it all comes down to patience. But yeah, it's neurobiology. I think we should call it neurobiology. I think that's the best way. Thank you, Navo, for giving sharing. I mean, obviously I know neurobiology, but I never really. I think that's the best way to approach it. Dopamine. Yeah, exactly. We want that dopamine hit. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so you have to sort of like bring those things like cortisol, dopamine. If you understand that what's happening in your brain, you also know maybe how to reverse those processes, right? It's about reversing those processes because we want winning, we still want to have winning trades. We still want to be green. We still want a green day. But yeah, norepinephrine. Oh, I never heard of that one, but that's interesting. Is that, yeah, the neurotransmitter. Yeah, and it also comes with cortisol, right? Nore, I don't know how to pronounce it, but yeah. Yeah, the fight or flight neurotransmitter. Exactly. And that's why you want to solve it straight away, right? If I do that, like, oh my God, let me just try it again. I hit the button and it's a losing trade. I think, okay, let me just reverse that quickly. And you get into the second trade. So not even getting there, that is just so important. Just sticking to your rules, just sticking to those rules. But if you do find it, if it does happen, you need to be able to quickly get out of that loophole before it gets worse. Yeah. How do you guys, Luca, for example, and Nava, how do you deal with these issues? I mean, it's so interesting because everybody has, or I mean, and I mean, guys, I still fall for that. Sometimes I allow myself to lose an account, an eval, because it's like, okay, let me just, I don't know, it's really weird. And then I allow it, but then I'll. Yeah, and that's also interesting. I love if I'm winning 300%, I lost my control and turned to blowing. Yeah, it's crazy, right? Because you think like, oh, I'm just winning. I can't lose, and then you just go on and until you lose it. It's crazy. I know. It's really weird. Hey, but listen, I saw that Trader Fate now has the ability to close yourself out of your account. So for me also, I need to start doing that more often. It's going to be one trade. If I have a winning trade in New York, I said one per account, but I think it should be just one. Either I need to start copy trading or just stop. And I don't do 20 accounts. I think that's ridiculous. You have to grow into that. Hey, so guys, what's that news about Apex? If you have 20 accounts and you go to live, you're only allowed to take $3,000 with you, even if you have if you build up more buffer. I found post nut clarity to be, what is post nut clarity? Post nut, never, what is post nut clarity? Dopamine addiction, gambling, a lot of bad traits. Hey, but guys, I never knew I had a gambling. I don't have a gambling issue. I don't have alcohol issues, but I do have. I can fall in the trap of overtrading. And I thought really literally because I'm so I never have any. I come from my mom was an alcoholic, and obviously I used to drink something in my younger years and party and blah blah blah, but I never got addicted to anything. Never, never, no smoking. But obviously I tried some things, but um, never, never, ever got addicted. So I literally thought I am one of those people that won't be over trading. I'm one of those people that won't have revenge trading because I'm very disciplined. Well, I can tell you one thing. Yeah, no. Um, over trading was a big, big issue for me when I started out. So, um, in no other field in life do I have any issues, but yet with trading, I did. Okay, I will Google that. Yes, I'm going to. Yeah, I had my I have a past. um, but it's crazy. I was sure that I was not because of other things like, I'm going to Google that. Let me just write down. Yeah, and it was very hard for me to accept as well. Um, that's also a thing about, accepting your flaws in trading. It's also where the reality sets in, like, okay, well, I used to also move my stop loss. I was losing and then I would, oh, you know what? Now let me just bring my stop loss down as well because it might just turn here. Those things. I've done it all. I've done the worst things. How to eliminate green? Well, that's what you have to make it mechanical. We talked about that as well in the morning, right? If you have a model, 60% win rate, for a lot of people that doesn't sound interesting because they're like, yeah, I just want to, YOLO my account. But if you have a 60% win rate but still have a good R to R and getting comfortable with losses. So that's why I'm also, when I paper trade, guys, you see me sometimes not get out of my trade when I paper trade. I do that on purpose. I journal them. You learn most of your losing trades. So what happens when I put on a paper trade and when I'm in a real trade and I see, okay, it's going against me and I see I made a mistake. Obviously, I won't let my funded or whatever get more into, if I already really see, okay, I made a mistake here. But on my paper trades, I allow it to go to my stop loss. Why? Because that's how I journal. I journal the trade. Okay, what did I do wrong? Where did I get in? Where's my stop loss? And what should I have done? The most important question is, what should I have done? And what would have been the better trade? But because I see the power is in the visualization, and I keep saying that the journaling is so important. It's in the visualization. What did you do wrong? And then you see it happen. But also being stopped out on paper helps me also being stopped out in, if I have a good trade and the setup is perfect and the stop loss is really within limitations and everything is how I would have traded it normally and it works out 60 or 70, 80% of the time. And then I'm stopped out. I'm fully okay with that. But it's something you need to train, being okay being stopped out. A stop out is actually something beautiful. It protects your capital. Yeah, you said so, but that's all. You can only do that when you have back tested that a lot, right? If you have a negative R to R, that's something for more experienced people, I would say, and someone who really, really back tested it. But you have to be okay with being stopped out. And I really had to train myself to get to the point, like really, okay, my model, okay, I'm comfortable, and I'm whatever happens, happens. And that's why I paper trade and let it also run to the stop. It's also part of, for me, being comfortable with the process, being stopped out. Because I used to do crazy stuff, guys. And I really had to rewire my brain, and it's still ongoing. I mean, you're never done. You're never done. Um, King, how old are you, by the way? I never really partied. I fear I might start now, and at the same time, I might be too old to party. Well, you know, like we said with trading, you're never too old to do anything. But partying is sort of like it's nice to do, but does it? I mean, it's a nice phase in life when you're young. But I think if you're really, starting to party at an older age, I think it's nice to have fun. I mean, for me, also just going out with friends, having a nice dinner, enjoying a good glass of wine, or going into the bush, going into safari, a nice game drive, and sitting around the braai, having nice chats. For me, the part it didn't give any fulfilling anymore because it's all the same. People being drunk, talking the same bullshit. I got bored at some point. I got bored with it. And but if you have never experienced it, it's something maybe sometimes it's good to have experience and experience, seen it, done it, and you're done. Because I mean, to be honest, the people that I knew that are still partying are sort of losers. To be honest, I mean, if they're in this age and they're still doing it, they don't have really a lot of life to go by. But on the other hand, if you've never done it, you should. I think it's a good way to. No, you're 33. Oh, no, go out. Go have fun. Go have fun. Yeah, you're still young. Luca, do you paper trade when fear of missing out? Yes. Sometimes when I feel I just put on a paper trade, but also I start out my day with 2 paper trades just to see where I'm at, what the market is doing. Am I feeling, in tune with the market? Because also there's 2 different things, right? You've got um, execution and you've got analysis. Your analysis can be correct, but your execution can be shit because you're either slow or whatever. Hey, Mr. Chaos, how are you doing? Henny, I'm from the Netherlands. Um, your name sounds Dutch. But I live in South Africa. I see bullish structure again, but I don't like it when we're around midnight, right? I told you guys before, when we're around midnight, I'm always very cautious. Um, as a trader, do you feel socially cut off or socially? Yes, I had to let go of friends, people. But here comes the beautiful part, and I've said it a couple of times. When I started this YouTube channel, I never knew that the best thing of this whole journey would be. I get very emotional when I talk about it again. Um, is the chat, guys? I mean, it makes me very emotional. When I was in other groups, I don't talk a lot in chats because I'm sort of shyish in the sense of, yeah, but the biggest reward of the YouTube channel is the community that we're building. Oh, you're from South Africa. I think we talked about that, but Henny, because your name looks familiar to me. Yeah, talk about the braai. Yeah, I mean, you're starting to pick up things. It's this part, and that's why I don't care about growth so much. I'm more because for me, the biggest part of the channel is I never realized how much I actually was craving the community or something to, and I really miss you guys. If it's I thought, oh my God, it's going to be a long weekend. I'm like, okay. Um, so I said, let's do a Friday stream, but I didn't find the Friday price section. I like, ugh, but then I was like, oh my God, half day, let's do it. And here we are. Trading is a lonely career. It is when all your friends won't understand. Yeah, they don't. And listen, guys, when you become successful, it will become harder. A lot of people, they want you to be successful, but when you really become successful and they are in a hard place, you won't be able to talk to them. It's really hard. You have to let go of some people. Oh, King, you're so right about that. Yeah. But that's why we started the Discord, so you guys can talk as well. Still have to do some more stuff there. Now, see, we are not really going lower. We sort of like went lower at midnight, but we're sort of like forming bullish structure again. Like I said, I really want to see if we can get here. Did we make it to 40? Not even to 40. That's interesting. Um, I'm 27. All my friends get blackout drunk midweekend every weekend, mocking me for not going out with them. Yeah, and look in a couple of years or maybe very soon when you are living a dream life, they are like shit. Yeah. I bet you knew you never could talk as much as you do during your stream. No, I never knew that, to be honest, and I never knew that. So I told you guys the story how I got into the YouTube, right? And it was because of one lady that recruited me for a prop firm, and she actually said, "You just do it." And I said, "Yeah, but nobody would listen." She says, "Well, if nobody listens, just do it for yourself." And I thought, okay. And it was more like my journal. I thought, okay, well, if nobody listens, it's just going to be my trading journal. Obviously, when you are on stream the first few weeks and no one is watching in the beginning, well, it hardly actually happened that no one was watching, but you have one person, but then the person logs off and you have zero. And you're like, oh shit, there's no one here. And then I thought, oh, let me quickly. And I remember it so clearly. It happened a couple of times, but not many. And I got so nervous, like, oh my God, I look like a fool now. I'm on stream and nobody's here. And because I don't have any social media, right? I don't want any social media. I want to stay away from that. And I thought, let me kill the stream quickly. And something, no, you made a promise to yourself. You're not going to do that. Just pretend you're talking to one person or just to yourself. And just, it's your journal. And I kept going. And those became the best streams because I was just, and after 15 minutes, I literally had a whole Indian community. Is apparently that stream started to push in India. I don't know. It was so weird. And then I had to, and I still have a couple of people still around from that time, and it was so crazy. Just no, you're just sticking to your plan. You're not going to give up because it's just because you get nervous because there's no one there. Um, yeah. But with all that success comes the response of not going mad. We can't buy friends in a lavish club, but we somehow still rush. No, I don't. That comes with maturity. Maybe in the beginning you will. I just want freedom. I just want freedom now and live where I want to live and be able to just have peace. I want peace of mind and quiet life. But that again comes with age, I guess. After the partying, life is phases. Everything is in phases. Yeah, so I still remember that I was like, "Oh my God!" And you promise yourself not to look at the numbers, and then I'm like, "Oh shit, there is no one watching," and then yeah. But anyway, I just wanted to share that. So I love the stream so far. No giveaways, no acting through. Yes, no giveaways here. I don't do prop firm codes. No, I don't. I want to stay away from that on purpose. Because I do trade prop firm. I trade funded next, but I'm so afraid that if they go rogue or something happens and people in my community, I benefit from them. And then it is. I think there's something unethical about pushing those prop firm codes. I just don't think it's. Um, and especially those who are trading 20 accounts and because it's something you need to work. Copy trading is something you need to work towards. It's not something you it is an easy get rich quick scheme for the people that fall into the trap. Like, okay, if I have one, I just copy it 20 times and I'll be rich. But you just lose 10 or 20 accounts. And I think some streamers, they are literally preying on that. And I find it very unethical. I just I don't like it because maybe they can manage to do so, but pushing people with less than 2 hour trades into getting 20, oh, use my code, and especially on those Apex things, they make a lot of money on your codes, guys. They make more money on prop firm codes than on trading. I can assure you that. So hey guys, okay, so bullish structure. I'm more interested in a LON again. What time is it? Almost 3 o'clock. I bought ES on my trading account. Okay, darkness. I'm very relaxed today. See, this is why I'm very careful with this trading. You see how price it goes up and then it goes down again, right? I'm interested in 240. We still haven't reached that, so I'm also very. I'm not. I don't want to enter until either 240 area has been reached or this area. So I'm going to wait until one of the two is going to be reached because I'm also looking like, what are we leaving behind? We have still an imbalance here. I do see a market maker model. Exactly, Luca. We had Friday once and do giveaway. I said, well, I think you need to go somewhere else. I don't do giveaways. And I said, and literally, it was a bit nasty to say, but I said, I don't do giveaways because I actually don't want the giveaway crowd here. It's the truth. Hey, listen, I don't want to spend time on giveaways, and I just think it takes away from the trading. But anyway, everyone their own thing, whatever they want to do. But I trade prop firms. There's a good thing about prop firms, but I think there is an ethical side of pushing prop firm codes. And if you're a trader and you make a lot of money, you don't need to make more money with prop firm codes, right? That's the truth. Now, I wouldn't mind to work with a company that is something like maybe a broker or something that's really solid. They've been in the game a long time, and obviously, I don't have anything against making money. Don't get me wrong, but there's just something I just don't like it. Okay, here we go. Let me quickly, what time is it? Almost 3. Shit, I need to go to the bathroom. I'm starting my journey on trading. I'm used to trade option contract. I learned these contracts use a different number of these features compared to options. What's a market maker model? Well, a market maker model is just a structure of how actually the market literally operates it's either we're either on the sell side of a model or on the buy side. So, and price is fractal, so literally on all time frames. Let's say a higher time frame retracement can be a full market maker model on the lower time frame because you've got a retracement and a move back up again. So this is a market maker model on the 1 minute. Original consolidation, sell side, buy side, and we're back in original consolidation. Will it go higher? I don't know, because I said I'm interested in 40 level, or this is my interest. Everything in between, I think now price already showing me like, you know what? I don't want to be caught up in this back and forth price action. I'm just going to wait till either this level is hit or 40-ish. That means that fair value gap. I don't want to be caught in back and forth price action in time distortion. which is possible because we had a large move, right? Now, for those who scalp, this is still a good move. I mean, there is still opportunity here, but I don't trade. My trades are, if you go back into my YouTube channel, my Discord, my trades are usually, I average, I would literally say last week over 100, around 100 points. So I'm not really interested in smaller moves. I would rather wait for invalidation or validation of something. Let me see. Yeah. When price moves pretty, yeah, but ex ante, I don't know if you've noticed sometimes as well, price moves sometimes from external and then internal before it goes to external. It's not always as easy as, oh, we have hit external, we're going straight line to internal. Sometimes we stay in a range and we go from external, internal, then external. So you need to be able to identify that as well. Like when is it really moving outside? Um, so that 702 level, that is the start of most of the time of the of an external of a original consolidation. If it's a large consolidation, that is most of the times, Bryce, the 702 level back tested. Seven oh five is the most important level. If you're able to identify ranges, the 705 is the most important one. Why are you not working, my friend? So it just taps, sometimes it taps into the bottom of that original consolidation, which is 705, a lot of the times, but it's still original consolidation and it just goes back, it goes lower. Those are mostly on the lower time frame, market maker models. But on the higher time frame, it doesn't always apply. I agree with you on that one. It was literally that 705 level that on Thursday when I did not take that trade. I don't know if you guys remember Thursday, we had like a move to the downside and then to the upside, and then there was this large drop at 6 o'clock. I don't know if you guys remember that. I'm not in the Tradeify Grand Cup, Stereo. Anyone else? How long have you been profitable? I became profitable after between 12 and 8, between 12 and 18 months after ICT, which was after 3 years after I did other things. So I started with just anything that we start anywhere, and then I did TPO, which wasn't that bad, but after 3.5 years of trading, I was my attention was sent to ICT, and then I really started to deep dive into it, and then I became profitable after 12 to 18 months. It was the build up between the 12 and 18 months that I started to become more consistent. I had my first payout after 12 months. Then I fell back into break even, and then I had to work my way back. to profitability, and now I'm consistently profitable for a while now. Well, I would say consistently, but I was okay with. We had such a we did not have an easy year, but I would still call it consistent when you're staying out more often and just you're still green, but you just make less money. But you're still consistent. That's also part of because you look over a year, right? We had quite a challenging time though, to be honest. Um, okay, markets open. Um, El Mugras, are you on data? Do you have you need a data description on NQ on TradingView, I'm sorry. Um, this is just TradingView right now. So if you don't have a prescription, you are 15 minutes behind. That's correct. Okay. Stereo. Was there a question about South Africa? Um, oh, hello. Yeah, Funded Next, but I believe also Top Step is now available, but I don't know. Top Step is not very trustworthy now, is it? But yeah, I love Funded Next, but I think there's more now. I think TPT, Tradeify maybe as well. I think Tradeify. I'm just sort of very loyal at the moment to Funded Next, even though I don't push any prop firm codes. I actually gave the prop firm code back to them. I said, no, I'm not going to do it. I got one. And then I said, no, let me just don't do it. I just don't want to fall into the trap of pushing any code. So I'm not doing it. But yeah, I personally trade Funded Next a lot. Or actually only, to be honest, yes. Luca 29, 28. No, no, no. You are mistaken, Luca. When I talk 705, it's from the Fibonacci levels. So 705. When we talk 705, it's a level, and like if I calculate, like for example, a range here, what's the midpoint and where is 705? We talk Fibonacci levels when we talk 705. This is the golden zone, the 62, 705, 7. When you go below 79, it's not a retracement anymore. Then you have there's a big possibility that your trade is going to turn bearish if you go lower. But so what Bryce was saying, 70% is if you are in a trade, you want to. Well, technically, these are also levels you can use for partials, and 705 is a very important level, which can also indicate either a partial, but also can indicate maybe a reversal at some point, sometimes. I'm not interested. I'm not going to trade until either I'll show you the level that I'm not in. I'm going to, yeah. 2937, 997. I really would like to see 940 tagged, or that we go higher and then enter in a trade after after we broke out of this, or we tapped into that fair value gap. It's just taking too long, guys. But it's a holiday, right? Oh, thank you for subscribing. I think we have some new subscribers. Look, guy, you know, guys, I never ask for likes or anything because I'm not interested in that. But I do like it when I get to a number which comes close to. I think I'm going near 2,000 subscribers. Let me see how much I have. 1993, 7 more subscribers, and I've got 2,000 subscribers, guys. That's something I really would like to. That would be awesome on a holiday like today, if that was be able. Guys, if you're not subscribed and you find some value, or you just want to support the channel, please get me to 2,000. That is a milestone. 2,000 subscribers. I need to go to the bathroom actually really bad, and I need coffee, but I just. Let's bring it to 2,000. Come on. Oh, look at that. 2 more, guys. 2 more. Oh. That will be so, that will be such an awesome start of the week. 2,000. Thank you, guys. I love you. That is a milestone. That is a milestone. Thank you. Some, I'm just calm and never writing. Hey, I mean, listen, I am like that as well when I'm in other groups. I never really said a lot. I just listened and it was more for the company. So I totally get it. 1993 is my birth year. Are we crossing 30,000? Well, hey, listen, Falcony, well, obviously it looks like we're heading down a little bit, but let's see if we can go to 40 and then maybe back up. If we blast through it, fair gap. But yeah, let's see. Meow meow. Oh, congrats. Thank you guys. 2,000 people. Yes, that's awesome. But you know, it's not about the growth, it's about the how the community is growing actually. It's more important, and that's just um been awesome. Okay, let me quickly I need to go to the bathroom. Let's see, 1940 is being tagged. I really need to go. I'll be right back, and I need some coffee as well. So I'll be right back, guys. Let price run do its thing. I like 940. Like I said, oh, there we go. You see how it moves, how wiki it goes. Let's see if it rejects here and goes back up, or goes further down. I'm very eager. I'm very itchy for a long, but I can't do it. I need to go. I'll be right back. Give me 1 second. 1 minute. we go. Okay, got my drink. Here we go. Okay. My TP got edged by 2 ticks. Well done. Yes. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Um, okay, let's have a look at the IPTA levels. See, guys, we tagged 4% standard deviation. I wonder if we're going to get the drop. Um, $20-day look back. We're at the end of the month. I'm interested in what do we have for PDRAs below 50%? On the 20-day, this is the 50% line. So this has my from premium to discount. I'm interested in this fair value. I'm gonna mark this one here. Let's just mark this one. I'll reassess if we go lower. Okay. Oh, we're dropping. Wow. You see, we reached 4 standard deviations of the on the higher time frame. You see that here? And we are dropping 4 standard. Look here. And that was all the way calculated from this level here. 30th of March. Four fucking standard deviation. So actually I didn't do a coffee. I just got a nice drink, a cool drink. Let's have a look now, guys. We have some displacement. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. 858. Hey, what are you doing, my love? No, I don't use order flow. You were short, well done. That was a nice drop, yes. So what I really would like to see, I mean, we hit 4 standard deviation on the higher time frame. So the question is, are we really going to drop? Or are we going to go one more leg higher and then drop? Or are we just going to go higher again to 6 standard deviations? So if I'm looking at the higher time frame, I'm looking for future breakers. And it doesn't look to me like we have. This could be a potential one, but are we going to make a new one? Are we just going to go drop? Now, compare this structure here to the bottom here. This was such a beautiful, this is like a breaker manipulation, and we went higher and here. So you see that the end, how it went. It was, this is like 3 days of manipulation to the downside, sorry. So I'm looking like for, I'm just wondering if this is the structure that is going to be the end. It just doesn't look to me like it is. So see, ES is already back. ES is already back at midnight, which I don't like. You see how close ES is already around midnight. I never like it when price hovers around midnight all the time. And ES is hovering around midnight again, so I don't trust it for one bit for a long. I would not enter myself for a long. Gigi, what are you doing? She's so wild. No, ES tells me I don't like a short setup because ES is back to midnight again. That makes me a little bit uncomfortable with it, to say. Now one could argue this is the silver bullet, right? You have like a displacement, retracement into displacement, and we have continuation to the downside. Normally I would say yes, but today I don't know, I don't like it too much. Something is off. Hey, hey, what are you doing? Hey, hey. I've got a crazy little kitty. Ooh. This is wow. What's up? Oh, hello. Now, we have not reached any of these levels, but I'm still, I just don't like ES. Look, ES jumped all the way back to midnight, almost. That is not a good sign. I'm very, I would like to long this actually than short this. No, for me, it's more like, I think it's, I really like it. I think this is just the Judas. Oh, no, Gigi. No, 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 no. Hey, no, go. Uh, go. It's like, what the fuck? You don't give me, you're not giving me my tuna. I'm gonna stalk you. Let's see if we can get over that 940 level. If it's gonna go over that, um, why you didn't long that VWAP flat? It's an icy crab between Asia. Because I'm waiting for more consistently trades. I'm not interested in small little trades. I would rather have a good trade with over 100 points. So I'm not in a rush. So, and by the way, that is bullshit what you're saying, because ICT doesn't use VWAP. ICT doesn't use any VWAP. So, yeah. Okay, come go, 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 go. So we're above midnight. I think we're going, A V shape. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what I said. I said I'm not interested in a short at all. Thank you, Jostar and Kabi, 8863, 8873. Sorry, 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 sorry. I think I'll do a pre-market for those in pre-market prep. Again, if you are in my pre-market prep, please make yourself known because I need to add you on the Discord. Now, Gigi, go. Yes. And for those, I put the Discord link in the. Okay, let's do another poll. Oh, look at that. Look at what ES is doing. It's very wiki. For those who want to say, why are you not trading? Um, Today's the day for me for observing and paper trading because we have low volume and look what they're doing. I told you guys, I said if they're going to move, it's going to be fast, violent, and very furious. Now, I already mentioned that this is my point of interest. Do I care if I'm not in it? No, I don't, because I would rather trade in a, look what it's doing. I said, if it goes, it will be fast, furious, because we have low volume and they use those days to spike very quickly and how to trick people. Because a lot of people might have been interested in a short here. And as you could see, and I was like, I don't trust it at all. And you see how fast ES now moved to the upside, right? It's very spiky. It's and what I want to do with this channel as well, you know, we talked about it today about A plus setups, but also neuroscience, biology, when to stay out and being okay with missing moves when it doesn't move in a way that you like. Now, I can see a move and I can say, okay, I think it's going there. But if it doesn't follow all of my rules, I stay out, even though I know where it most likely is going. But I don't want to be caught in one of those wicks to the upside. Do I hate it when I miss a move and miss out on money? No, because the setup that I want and everything needs to line up for me will come. And if it doesn't come today, it will be tomorrow. And I would love it if today, if it would hit that target, and then maybe tomorrow we'll have an easier day to trade off. But I'm just trying to warn you guys, like I said, it's low volume, but that doesn't mean the move will come, but they move in a way that is very spiky, fast, and treacherous if you're on the wrong side. Now, I know some people were short biased here, and I said, yes, it looks like a short because we did not reach any OTE levels. We did not. It looks like a silver bullet. But I said straight away, I don't trust it at all. Um, and I don't care for a quick buck. I'm not interested in quick bucks because why would I if I would rather have a good trade with 100 points and trade, you know, just have enough data to back it up. Um, Pratish, the markets, yes, the markets are open, but it's low volume because there's a bank holiday in the in Europe as well. But the markets are obviously running, and U.S. Market is open until 1 Eastern. Yes, so I'll do a pre-market prep. I'll just do it anyway. But again, so this is my point of interest, guys. Like I said. If I learned for free, is that what you're asking, or do you learn free from ICT? Yes, ICT has a channel, and everything is free, what he has taught. See, why did I not enter? Because it doesn't make the whole structure. Now, I think, like I said, I think we're going higher, but you see how manipulative it is right now and what price is doing. So I don't think it's a very, I don't, there's, for me, there wasn't a model, but, and also I didn't see an inversion here yet. It just starts spiking here. So I'm okay just to watch. But NQ futures, um, if you want to start learning ICT on the Discord, I made it's just very for beginners because the channel itself is overwhelming from ICT. But you have to start somewhere, right? But I just made like a beginner's ICT. So you're redirected to ICT, obviously, but just the start to make it a little bit more, less overwhelming, and then just to get started with it. Just core content to start with, and then some specific things I talk about a lot on the channel. Yeah. Are you interested in shorts? No, I'm not interested in shorts at the moment. Darkness. If you're paper, shouldn't you at least paper trade? I'm busy. I'm busy getting a drink. So, are you looking for a signal or something? Why are you just watching a paper account? You're very close to being banned, my friend. um, ICT itself is overwhelming. Yeah, it needs time to study. Yeah, sometimes I don't feel like trading. If people like darkness is talking like that, I don't feel like trading at all anymore for guys like you. And even if I would paper trade, why would you care? Why are you just watching a paper account? I don't feel like having people like that on my channel, to be honest. I'm gonna ban you. Why'd use on this channel? Sometimes I don't like to do that, but sometimes I do. People who talk like that can go F themselves. I like it to have 2,000 subscribers, but I don't like people like that. You want to keep it positive. 2010. Oh my God, guys. Crazy. Okay. So why am I not trading now? Do I need to, okay, let me explain again, guys. I'm going to explain again. And I'm not going to apologize for not trading. Today is a holiday. Today is low volume. Yes, there might be trades, but am I interested in it? No. Paper trading is also for me a practice to practice patience, but also practicing execution. So also sometimes not trading, even on paper, is a way for me to practice discipline. We are almost, I believe, and I'm going to say it again, I believe we're very close at the high, but maybe not. So I'm really watching now as well if we're manipulating and what is price doing, because it will give us intel either for tomorrow, because yes, I do want to catch that short, but I don't want to be caught in manipulation. So just watching for me, even when I'm in a paper trade, already my brain is working differently. So tape reading is for me something I love doing and I value more actually than trading, if that makes sense, because the more I tape read, the better my next trade will be. So me not trading is not me being lazy, but I'm just sharing my channel with you guys, but I want to be able to be myself. And if I don't feel like trading, I don't want to trade. And if people are judging me on that. I know they are not here for the right reasons, right? Um, hey, Alex, you're calling it low volume. Hey, listen, it's low volume, but there are large moves, right? So for me, I would rather watch, get intel, see what I have specific levels I'm looking at, and for me, it's very interesting to see what they are doing. And yeah, so just tape reading for me sometimes is so much more valuable than just trying to get into a trade, okay, guys? And I don't want to be, I don't want to apologize for it, but sometimes I feel I have to. Um, but that also takes away from the channel a little bit, from the authenticity, um, if that makes sense. And yeah, and if I want to trade paper trade all day, I'm going to paper trade all day on the paper. And I'm always very transparent about it. Sometimes I say I'm paper trading, but I'm not. Then I'm also on my account. I do that on purpose for people like that. But yeah, I'm always open. When it's a paper trade, it's a paper trade. But guys, the thing is, paper trading is so valuable. I mean, I just wish more people would see it. That paper trading will make you much more money, because especially when you feel like, oh my god, I want to trade, but I'm just not reading the market yet, or I'm not there yet with all my rules, and I don't feel it. You know, for those who play golf, you know, you know when you hit that ball, and I mentioned that last week as well. You know exactly when you hit the ball, and everything lines up, and you hear that sound, and you know everything. You know already before the ball goes that it's going in the right direction. And it's the same with trading. Once you have your set of rules and you are very mechanical, you know exactly, okay, now I'm going to press the, and everything lines up, and then you sit back. But sometimes it takes time to get there, to get that feeling. And I'm the more I experience that feeling, the more I'm willing to wait for it, if that makes sense. Um, Lately in pre-market prep, my first trade after the New York Open gives me that trade a lot of the times. Last week that was a lot, because I have my London intel and I wait, and everything was sort of like, um, yeah. But anyway, let's get back. People want something and don't really want to learn. Yeah, but you know what? It actually intensifies my reasoning as well. I'm like, oh my God, I'm actually so happy that I'm here, and I'm so happy that I feel um the that I am not giving into to those small things that I think is not going to bring me much. But anyway, I already said here I went too long, but yeah, I think it's going here. Should I enter the trade? No, I'm not going to enter the trade. You guys can enter. I'm just going to, hey Jay, you helped me not to take no shorts. You are right. Took my profit on that nine short, better to watch. Yeah. You see, it's sometimes much more valuable to not trade, right? And watch. Um, Now, why did I stay out of that trade? Because ES showed me that it spiked back up and it was above midnight already, which is not, I always say when price hovers around midnight, you have to be careful. You have to be vigilant of consolidation in that area, because you want it to see move away. But ES spiked straight back up to midnight, which also told me to be vigilant here. Like, okay, or am I on the wrong? Okay, here we are. Okay, here. So look what we did, guys. We tagged Asia high again, and we moved away from it. Can't you speak Marocchino, please, teacher? Yeah, ICT is free, but not so much people. NQ futures. So, yeah, ICT is free, but you know, you get more knowledge after you study yourself and you journal, and then you get more. It's a foundation. ICT is a foundation, but you want to get to a point that you make your own models, your own data. So, and there's a lot that more experienced people know that ICT doesn't teach, but they have learned themselves by studying the markets and doing. But the foundation is free. Everything, there's a lot more that comes after the foundation. And those are maybe the connections that some people have made by studying it and building their own models. That's where your own trading identity comes in. Because the foundation is yeah, it is a found. I would say it's just the start. It's just the start. Bye, Emil. Yes, you have to study it, and you have to build your own. That's why I hammer on journaling, because you're making your own. Look, guys, when I journal, I still find little things, and I'm very heavenly on time. This weekend I discovered something very, very, very interesting, and some things that I've been studying for over a couple of years now. I'm not just willing to share that here because I put in the work. I put in the years and hours and hours. My journaling takes more time than my trading. I journal for an hour per day. I don't think many people do that. That's why I want to do the poll. Like, do you guys think 60% model is a model that gives you 60%? Would you rate that as an A plus setup? Now, my first model gave me 60%, but that model wasn't refined yet, but it gave me a starting point. And I literally, when I started being profitable, I lived off that model just from a 60% win rate at that time. Now that model gives me 85% win rate. Why? Because I went back into the charts and I looked at those times that it didn't work out. And I found out that there was some more reasons to not take the trades. It's about when do I stay out. So by eliminating more times to get to other algorithmic signatures that are around that time or whatever, because it's, for me, time is the most important thing. I managed to bring that 60% to a higher percentage, but not by trading it, but by staying out of it. And that is the key. Hodor. Yeah. Um, it depends on, so be adjust. The only time you want to use it is when, there was a time when we were in all-time highs, but when you had used be adjust off, you were at all-time highs, but be adjust on, it was not. At that time, I put it on B just because I had more data to the left. I actually kept it there because we are continuously around that all-time highs. But it is just it just takes into account the contract changes. But you do want to scroll through both sometimes. But when we are at all-time highs, for example, and B just on, gives you more data that is not at all-time highs yet, you would rather leave it to the B adjust because then you have more data to the left. At this point, it doesn't really matter now, but sometimes it does give you, well, let's double check. I'll give it to the, you will see, I think today will be one of those days that we're going to have, we don't have any contract. When is the contract changed, guys? What date is it? Which month are we in? We are May. Yeah, we're not, we don't have any, I think March, April, May, June. I think June is going to be interesting, but now it won't give you much difference. Okay, now look at the hourly here, guys. You see the hourly, we went into the fair value gap here, and we have this doji here. So it's a little bit indecisive, right? Yeah, but then the NQ is on 3 month, right? So we don't have monthly. But yeah, it's not, it doesn't really September, December. Yeah, no, it's in June. June is the next one. Um, yeah, June is the next one, NQM, and then September and then December. Yeah. Okay, so what you want to watch now on the 15, you have this, you want to see if there's a body closure above the 2 a.m. Hey, Luca, thank you. Oh, you've got 30 degrees and go enjoy. Yes, touch some grass. You earned it. Well done. And I'll see you back. Thank you for your lens. So you don't have a prop affiliate code and you actively promote ICT. How do you make money streaming? How do you think I make money? How do you think where do you think I live off? Now use your brain. I am against prop firm codes. I do trade prop firm, but I don't want to push them because I don't need to. How do you think I make my money? Well, I'm streaming trading. How do you think I make my money? But you're right. I do not use, I gave my prop firm code back to Funded Next because I am against prop firm pushing. Yes, it's the only way how I can live in South Africa and be not from South Africa. Exactly. I'm a trader first. I'm a streamer secondly. I'm not an influencer. I'm not a I have a YouTube channel, but I'm not an influencer and I'm not a I don't want to call myself a content creator because I'm only streaming at the moment. I hardly make any other content. Um, yeah, so that's also, well, the reason I don't do prop firm codes because I think it's unethical to make money off my community by prop firm code. Yeah. Well, I am just worried. For me, I am worried about, like, I only trade with Funded Next because I trust them currently, but there are so many prop firms that go bad at some point. And if I have a community, which is the most valuable thing from what I'm getting out of this YouTube channel, I don't want to have anything that I am not 100% certain of that will be trustworthy in the end. Obviously, I want to make money, but I can do that with trading. But it's too much of a risk for me. Now, look at all those things that are going on with Apex. I couldn't sit here with a straight face and tell you to buy 20 Apex accounts while I'm not sure if they're going to pull another joke on my community and then I sell something that's going to hurt them. I just don't like it. So you see, guys, why I'm not interested in a short and not interested in a long. Now this was a nice long, but is it sustainable or not, right? We want to do something that is sustainable. I am more interested in this point of interest. I really want to see if we can get that. Let me do a poll. Yeah, but everything, so GTO, I love Funded Next. I love Funded Next because I trade with them and I'm very loyal to them, but I'm still very, I don't want to use their code. I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to stay out. No one's going to own me. And what if something does happen or something, you know, those companies, they might be good now. Look at funding ticks, all those streamers, Kid, Tanya, oh, funded ticks was the bomb. And look what happened. And all of them, they were all on funding ticks, and everybody thought, and I was reading about them as well, and I thought, okay, interesting, I like what they're doing. And then at some point they couldn't, it was not sustainable. And that's what I'm worried about. That's something that I just know how long are they going to be in the business and how long will they have the good name. For me, it's all, they have a life expectancy. I think all, and maybe in a few years' time, I might consider doing it if they're still around. But I know Maya. Yes, I've seen Maya. Yes, we say hello sometimes in each other's stream. Maya is from South Africa, but Maya is South African and I'm not. So she is a true South African. I'm a fake. I'm just, I invaded their country. Yeah, so I only trade funded next, but I just don't want to push any prop firm code, if that makes sense. Yeah. I'm just afraid of doing it. I'm just afraid of it too. And what if you guys use the code and you tell me, yeah, I mean, I'm not getting payouts. They moved me to live, but they did this and they did this, that. I mean, yeah. So that's the reason why. Um, all the other questions I'm going to leave unanswered. And yeah, okay, that's it. So that's it. And I love paper trading as well. And I'm almost inclined to say I am profitable because of my paper trading. And I love tape reading. And sometimes I don't feel like trading on streams like today. Not even a paper trade, because I would rather watch. And sometimes you miss trade. Having rules and discipline is a double-edged sword, right? Because sometimes you'll miss a trade. And just because it moves, but it just doesn't, my rules are not there, and I can see it goes up, but I don't have to be in every move. I'm really happy that I saw the move being invalidated by watching ES, right? When I said, I don't trust it. Look at ES spiking back up to midnight. That's already a win for me, guys. Don't be afraid of people supporting you. You're very rare to be, and people will use. It's not about using my code. Is it Len or Ian? I think it's Ian, right? Ian. No, I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will. But um, you guys are supporting me already here by just being here. Some people join my pre-market. I think some people just join my pre-market prep also just to support me. They don't care what I actually say. I wonder if it's really about that. Oh, Lance. I'm sorry, Lance. Yeah, sometimes hard if it's a capital I or an L, right, Lance? Yeah, no, I know they will, but it's just, I just thought, let me do it differently. I just want to be different. I'm not an influencer. I'm not so I just want to be different. So I know. Do you have a bias? So Green Globe, I now it reached that. I said I was interested in 914. We blasted through that. We went a little bit lower. Um, for me, it's more interesting. I just subscribed and put my like. Thank you, GTO. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's just I'm very appreciative of you guys, and I love the channel because it's just of the group of people and this the community building is just so awesome. What time is it now? 4 o'clock. Let's have a look. Yeah. I just don't know if there's a lot, if a lot is going to happen in the remaining session. So I'm thinking not making it too long. I might do a stream today. I'll definitely do a pre-market prep, guys. For those, again, for my pre-market preppers, um, if you're in my pre-market prep but not on the Discord yet, please make yourself known, okay? I still need to add you guys. There's a lot of people I haven't been able to add because you're not. I don't know if you have the same name on Discord. I'm honestly anti-courses and any premium service. That's your, yeah, that's, you can have that opinion, and in some way I agree with you there. I'm impressed ICT is profitable for you. Congrats. Yeah, Lance, but it wasn't easy. I mean, it took me a long time to study. I studied like very extensively for over a year, 1.5 years, or maybe even 2 years, every day, and back testing, journaling, and yeah, but and then it's the foundation, and I've built on that foundation. I added more things with time and stuff like that ICT doesn't teach. So I have added more things to my as a whole. But yeah, ICT is the foundation that actually made me understand the market. But yeah, so, but I think a lot of people are profitable with ICT, to be honest. I know quite a few people that, but most of them that I know, they have been building on top of that, and most of them are very, very time based. Um, and yeah, but yeah, I mean, um, it's not easy. I think I don't think in the, we talked about this morning as well when we started the stream, that not only the psychology but the neuroscience is more important. Like what happens in our brain when we are overtrading, what happens in our, how do we reset ourselves? That's far more important, because people are being taught, yeah, it's 80% psychology and 20% technicals, but I don't think so. You have to make your trading mechanical, and then you take out away the emotions. But then again, you can still fall in that trap, right? And then you have to be able to reset your I find it really hard to reset myself once I'm in the trap. It's like an alcoholic in a bar where you sell alcohol only, and so for me, it's just once I start over trading, I can't walk away. So I already have to make sure that I don't get into that loophole. Um, so creative, what ICT does time, but I think he only goes into the macros, so the 10 to 10 after the hours, but there is so much more to time than that. Um, if you believe in an algorithm, which ICT teaches, he teaches PD arrays, but the more important thing is actually time, and there's much more to time than just the ICT macros, and that's where for me, the better growth came in. How am I able to get 100 to 180 point trades? Is, yes, I use ICT, but the time aspect, what he does not teach, that's what I have added to my knowledge a little bit more than he has taught. But that all comes through journaling as well, that are more into time as well. Yeah, yeah, so kill zones obviously, but kill zones are just like when is the best time to trade within them in that market. But I'm talking about time. I'm literally talking minutes. I'm talking about specific time candles. Now, the time itself is not the important thing, but is like, if you believe there's an algorithm, think about this. How can you script an algorithm? If you are a coder, what would be your benchmark to code the algorithm against. If you have to program it and make it, you can't script it against price because price changes all the time, right? I try to trade one trade per account per session. Yes, that's what I'm aiming for. That's also part of my growing into more disciplined trading. Yes. Obsessed with futures. Yeah, well, welcome to the family lands. I'm also obsessed with futures and mainly NQ. I have a relationship with NQ. Um, I started doing gold, but then we got really ugly, and then I sort of like took it out again because it was just more consolidation, and it only moved in Asia when I'm sleeping for a while. But I think I will put it back on again. Um, yeah, time is important. Well, you said you never lose more than two trades. Well, no, I do lose more than two. I can have more losses, obviously, but I try to limit myself to two losses at least per, yes, not more than two losses per account per day. Per session. I'm sorry, per session. I actually have not set. Who has a session loss? So we have a daily loss, right? But do some of you also work with session losses? Like London, I'm allowed to lose only, which is like a part of your daily loss. Are you guys, is there anyone working with session losses? I'm just curious. Yeah, and I'm still growing myself as well. I mean, you keep growing and you keep evolving. Um, One loss on one session. Okay, Raoul, do you give it an amount as well? Is there a limited you have one loss, but is it just a loss, or because I tried one loss, it doesn't matter but then I'm like, yeah, maybe I'm too strict for myself. I also don't want to be too strict. Is it just one loss, or is it an amount so you can also have two losses, for example, or is it just one loss and that's it? So for example, let's say you have a winning trade first. You have a really, really good trade. And well, that's already, now I'm going against my own rule. Did you guys hear what I wanted to say? Okay, so my number one rule is if I have a really, really good winning trade, I stop, right? Because you're done. But I just wanted to say, you see how the brain, how easily you fall into the trap? Yeah, exactly. But I was already falling into the trap, right? So I wanted to say, yeah, but imagine you have a really, really good day and you have a winning trade, and then you have a losing trade, which you allow yourself. But already that you shouldn't even be in a trade because you had a good winning, and you should be done for the session, right? Or you go to another account. Yeah, but yeah. So you see how I can fall into the trap again, and it happened Friday. I didn't follow my rules. Yeah, exactly. So on the Discord as well, and in pre-market prep, I had everything was perfect, and I had a 180, how much? 107 point trade, and I put on. I instantly went back on because I thought, oh my God, it's going, and it was a losing trade. It was a small loss, but I should have never traded it. Stupid. But so we went a little bit lower than that 40 level than I said. And we went back up again, and we're back in consolidation now. I wonder if this is going to be how I set myself. If I win or lose, it's still I have to be one account. Yeah, I love that. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna be more strict with that rule as well. I forget it every time and I hate it when I do it. But I have to put money where my mouth is. But yeah, I put it on Discord. So I literally I didn't delete it, and I was like, okay, no, it's a losing trade. So it's out there. And because I didn't stick to my rules. The moment I don't stick to my rules, I lose. Even if I just bet 50%, you would think sometimes it's a win, right? No, if I gamble, if I just think, okay, I'm just going to press a button, and maybe it's a good thing because I had to get off the um, see, Rael, I love your mentality. I love it because that is that you will be very successful with that mentality. You've got patience and you're already focusing on the process. Not many people. I didn't do that in the beginning. I'm very impressed. I love it, guys. Do you see what he is saying? He's okay taking more time to pass an evaluation, but he is so disciplined and teaching himself those lessons. That is highly, that is very admirable. And I thank you for sharing that. It makes me depressed. Okay, wow. Okay. But you're still doing it. Um, no, you should be very proud of yourself actually, if you're really doing this because you're really submitting to time and being okay. And you know what? It allows you. Do you journal? Rael, do you journal? Do you journal those trades? Do you paper trade as well? If you are you allowing yourself to paper trade afterwards? No, listen, what you're doing, you I think you're one of the few people that are able to put yourself in that mindset. And that is okay, good. And if you paper trade, you journal those paper trades because that's where, and especially those that might have given you your loss, especially all of them, but especially those that give you, because you are learning from your paper trades and you're literally working on your capital preservation. You would be able, you would be able to go on a live account once you already practice the discipline. You don't need to rewire your brain. What you're doing is highly admirable. I did not do it at that in the phase where you, and you're saying you're depressed, and I totally get it because it's frustrating, and even being in break-even phase is frustrating. But I salute you. Lance, I don't agree. If you paper trade on forward testing, for me it works very well. Um, I don't like paper trading as and back testing because for me something is missing there. But I forward test when I do it on stream, I feel all the same, the pressure, the anxiety. If I'm wrong, if I over trade, if I over leverage, and or if I'm late. Um, I for me forward testing paper trading is for me personally highly valuable. But the most value comes from the journaling. That's where I really learn, and also execution wise to improve my execution. But yeah, it's different for everyone, right? But yeah, if you want to, I mean, for people, I mean, you don't want to waste your money on, I mean, you have to find a way to get better without losing too much money. And I think for me, forward testing was the way forward. Nothing wrong with back testing when you want to find models, but um, exactly, the journaling tells you so much. I mean, I'm hammering on journaling, and I do a mentorship, but I'm very strict on journaling because I don't want people to work with me for a long time. I want them to be, and what I teach is not structural. If people come to me and they want to do ICT, I tell them to study their own. But journaling is the most important thing, guys. It really is. Lance, it is. Actually, that's a good point, but it is. Yes. I journal more than I trade, but that's how I got my, well, I am now very good at 100-point trades and 180-point trades. That my journaling got me there. And I'm still journaling. I'm still back testing. I'm still forward testing. But yeah, it's um, I journal a lot. So Sonia's asked, what do you journal? So I journal my trades, my actual trades, my paper trades, but also the general market. So I can go at the end of the week, I look for weekly profiles, but I also look for um, I look for very specific things, time-based things as well. So it depends on my models. Did my models play out? So I look for specific models. I have a lot of journaling. And sometimes it takes me an hour per day, but I love it. I wake up. So I'm in South Africa, so my time is different. So when the market closes, it depends on daylight saving, either 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock at night here. I'm too tired to journal then. So what I do, I stop. And then in the morning, so I try to journal my trades from London to New York, between London and New York. And basically that's also that knowledge or that intel I use for my pre-market prep to frame my first trade in New York Open. Then when New York closes, I don't journal because I'm tired. I've literally been up for over 12, 15 hours because I make long days. First thing I wake up is about 4 a.m. here. First thing I do is journal. I wake up, I get my coffee, and I journal. I'm an educator, so it's what I help my students with. And tell my students your trade is your, yes, exactly, Diane. Yeah, I love it. And it tells you, it gave me my window that I actually do have a trading issue. I thought I was literally so, I thought I was immune to any addiction because I have not had any addiction in my life except sugar addiction and over trading. I found out that I could overtrade and I had to work on it. So I had to, make more rules. But what did it tell me? My journaling. Well, actually, my journaling, my P&L as well. But journaling, you need insight. Like, what am I doing? Look at that. And, once your brain goes crazy, you don't think normally. But then you're looking at your journal like, what the F did I do there? Are you nuts? Are you a complete moron? But then you see it and you're like, huh? And like, there's no logic. And if someone would see that, I would feel shame. I would have to, but then, you make it visual and then you're like, okay, that is literally my brain not working anymore. That was my overtrading, all my logic went out of the window. But when you see it, it's like, you start to realize it and you're like, oh, okay. And also you journaling. I mean, for me, it's a treasure hunt, guys. I discovered some beautiful things this weekend. And I'm like, okay. I still discover things that I can, refine my models with, find new models. So, and journaling is the only thing that helps you do that. Rael, I'm sick of myself when I see my journal. Oh, my loss. Okay, now you have to, one thing that's very important, Joel, you have to be very nice to you. The ICT teaches this and it's true. You are on a journey. You are learning. You're a beginner. If I think what you're writing, you're still in the beginning phases. So you have to be nice to yourself. You have to give yourself you allow yourself to learn. Allow yourself to make mistakes. Allow yourself to be in that phase that you still don't know yet, and you're still building your knowledge base. So entering too early, ignoring your level is just because you don't have the knowledge yet. You're building it right now. So in your journals, you have to be nice to yourself. But because you're seeing those things, which is awesome. But that's where you learn. But you have to see it as something like you should be proud. You should be absolutely proud of yourself. Let me tell you that. And those words that you're using, you should not put yourself into a negative state of mind because you're actually one of the few people who are able to do what you're doing. that, I mean, not people will, um, won't be able to do what you're doing. So you should be exceptionally proud on yourself, Raoul. I salute you for being consistent and sticking to your rules. Yes, so it takes time, Raoul, it takes time. It took me 1 year studying extensively, 8 hours per day, before profitability, okay? It takes time. It takes time, guys. Bryce, um, again, for me, I've got my point of interest here, and I do think we are going to this level at some point, but are we going there? It's clearly showing us it's not doing it in London. It's clearly showing us it doesn't want to move now. Um, well, yeah, Diamond's Year, I don't do that on other streams as well, so. I want to thank you for how you're talking to people. A lot of people would start being negative to them and telling them they're sorry you're coming as support and not negativity. No, I mean, the fact that Raoul feels comfortable enough by sharing how he's feeling means a lot to me because it means he feels safe to share his struggles. And that's what the channel is about. So, and when you are finding out a new strategy, you're literally starting at the start again, right? So, but yeah, please, Raoul, please be proud of yourself. You're doing very, very well. And I think most people um, can relate to what you're saying. But I find it exceptionally admirable that you are able to stick to that loss and not overtrade. So you already have a skill set, man. You don't even realize it. You don't even realize it, how far ahead you are of most people. So once you get the technicals, you already got the neuroscience part already done. Because most people get the technicals, but they still fail because they're overtrading and overlet, and you're not. Because once you get that part, man, you're good to go. But give it time, my friend, and reach out on my DM if you feel like you ever want to chat or whatever. So now I want to thank you guys for putting the trust in the. Mether isn't here, but last week we had a chat, and we were talking about uh, some things about the channel, and he says, wow, I really feel like your channel gives me a family feeling. And I said, yeah, I said, that's for me the same thing. And I always get a little bit emotional when I think about it. It's like I never thought that I would, when I started this channel, I never thought how much this part of the journey would mean to me. And it means everything to me. And Um, I love you guys. I just love you guys. I'm just, yeah, see, it makes me emotional. Um, it really does. So you guys are funny. Um, and Rael, I want to thank you for your openness. I really do, because it's not easy. But yeah, we're here to help, right? We're here to help each other. Um, and yeah, and Diamond's here. Reach out to me. I want to know. I want to talk to. I want to know more about you. Reach out to me on my Discord if you don't mind. N-Walk is a yummy beacon. Hey, listen, guys, the N-Walk is always a draw on liquidity. at some point. But the thing is when, the time, when is the time, right? Yeah, just be careful. If you keep trading, just be careful. I'll do I can change me mentally. Well, you already changed. You're mentally already. You just have to be less hard on yourself. You'll get there. You're doing very well. What's your Discord? It's in the description. Let me tag it. I was prepared today, and I already put it in the description. I always put it in the chat, but I wanted to do the poll about the 60% win rate A plus setup. So that's why I didn't. Okay, diamonds, you got you. Okay. I will those. It's a trading channel, not a Tinder. You need to go somewhere else. We're not on Tinder, guys. I love you guys. Okay, I'm gonna touch some grass. Unbelievable. Um, so what I noticed, let me share a little gem with you guys, because I just so I noticed that in Asia, when I grade Asia, like I used, you see that we use this wick went to the downside. Look what it hit, 62%. Let me grade it perfectly. Hold on. It's not only dealing ranges that you can use as premium and discount, okay? Hold on. Her Tinder is YouTube and dates only with NQ. Can you talk about keeping runners? I had 2 wins so far. I will doys. It's about having your, so when you are getting more comfortable with larger trades, then you will obviously will get runners, right? It's something you need to back test as well. And I think Bryce already made the comment today. If you're trading market maker models, you want to take partials along the way using your Fibonacci levels, which are very helpful, or at specific highs or lows or PDRAs that you are watching. But being comfortable with having runners is also understanding your model and understanding your data. It all comes really down to things that you have seen over and over and over again, because the market does present the same trade setup over and over and over, but your brain needs to start recognizing them, and by journaling them. And in the beginning, let's say you are struggling with keeping a runner in the beginning, you should be happy with 5 to 10 points, because that's all you're aiming for, and then you get out. But what do? You journal, you go back with that trade. So Sonia, this one is also actually I should have said that when you asked the question. So how I got better in those trades, when I started out and I had only 5 to 10 trades, I would go back, I journal that trade, and then what could I have done better to get more points out of that trade? So I would journal that trade, like, okay, what if I would have got it here? So what PDRA would I use? What time? Blah, blah, blah. I reverse engineer. And then I would journal that trade, how I could have had more trades out of that, points out of that trade. And where could I have taken my, if I would have like one micro, because we only trade micros when we're starting, right? 1, 2, or 3 micros. In the beginning, I just traded one. Well, actually, I did not. I just over leveraged, obviously, with MQ. But let's say I did not, and I went in with 3 micros. Okay, where would I've taken my, but you journal those trades as if you would have taken it. And that's how you grow into those trades, right? So you don't want to take them at first and have a losing trade, but use those trades where you only have 5 to 10 points and journal them like, how would I have been able to take more points out of the trade? You're not trying to take them yet until you're really ready, but you journal those that you're making and you're happy with 5 to 10 points. But how can I have made more points out of that trade? That's how I started journaling. So, and that's also where the paper trading comes in, right? If you have had your losses, you paper trade and you journal your paper trades. Your losing trades are your most valuable trades, but also your winning trades. Like, how could I have done better on those trades? So that's how you get more so when I started, so my problem was when I started to get better on my larger trades. So when I started streaming, so before last year, I had an average around 50 points. Now my average is between 100 and 200 almost. But what happened when I started getting at 80 points to 100, and that was around the start of this channel, I started the issue that I had to work on was that I was trailing my stop loss too fast. So instead of an 8R trade, I made it a 2R trade. Now you can still say, yeah, but 2R is still good. No, it's not when you can have an 8R trade, right? So I have to work on, okay, how, so for me, it was my brain thinking, okay, if I'm going for a 100 or 200 point trade, obviously there will be a retracement within that range because it's a larger move. It will take more time. There will be a retracement. What's a logical retracement? Either a silver bullet or just a logical retracement into OTE maybe. So I had to take into account, like, what if and when is the time right for example to go over 50% level of the trade. So for me, it's all about time, and I had to really journal that to figure out, because I was really losing on good trades. I would get re-enter again, but then if you're on a live account, you have to pay more commissions and stuff like that. So I'm really building also into that, and I'm still improving that. How can I work within a larger trade and not trading too fast? But that's a new problem when you go, you have a new, you grow somewhere, but a new problem evolves with that. So there's always something to work with. But Lance, my trades are on my channel and on my Discord. You can see them on the Discord. Lance, it's something that I grew into this year specifically, and now I had like an exceptionally good week last week. All my trades were over 100 points, literally, and they're on my Discord and on my it was really weird for me. It was a new thing to experience, like 6 days in a row having 100 plus trades in a row. That's for me new. But I guess, but I'm also very aware that the market might change a little bit. I'm like, okay, what's going on? So yeah, my win rate is actually not that low. That's crazy, but that data, it's new data for me. So, but yeah, I'll keep you guys posted on that. But the thing that I've figured out already is that I don't need to, I know that I should never go over, no matter more models that I tested and I worked with, I should never go over 40 points risk. It doesn't matter if it's micro, mini, well, minis, I actually don't even want to go there. But if I go over, I'm comfortable and I'm missing out. I'm already out of my trade setup is not good. But that's because of so much journaling. It doesn't matter. Every time it comes back to the same. So I know max is for me 30 points. max, 40 points, sorry. But if I go to 40 points, it should be actually below 40 points. Well, guys, there wasn't much trading, but I hope we gave some value. I mean, not only me, but the chat in general. I mean, I think it was a very valuable session today. Um, yeah. Yeah, I think it just, and just knowing when not to trade is more valuable than trading. For me, not anticipating in this is actually for me a win already. I mean, it's just like, okay, look what it's been doing. There was one move here at the London Open, it went back to Asia high, and now it's just consolidating, right? So, um, yeah, well, most men are intimidated by a woman that either makes more money than them or is able to do that in real life. Yeah, it's hard in life to yeah. Diamonds, are you a female? Diamonds here. Are you female or male? I can't see. I think are you a female? That would be so awesome. I miss my females. We had a few female. Yeah, you look like a female, Diamonds here. Are you female? Yay! Okay, see, I already got that female energy. Gotcha. Okay. No, I already asked you to get hold of me because I wanted to chat with you. Yay! I love it. Good, good, good. We need more females. Yay! Okay, guys, I'm gonna feel free to join the Discord. And I said, yeah, I'm gonna get into it. I'll do a pre-market prep and maybe even a New York session. Yeah, but Lance, it's something you really there's a lot of work behind it. It looks very easy maybe, but I put a lot of work in it, and it's my personal growth that I'm seeing now from all the work, and I think the channel also helped me growing it. I actually it's very funny to say, but I have one student. I don't take a lot of students. I only take one per time. And also just being, and it's very extensive. I do only one-on-ones, but it's very extensive, so I'm not interested in doing it on a regular basis. But also I think being a mentor for someone helps me as well, growing as a and this and just doing the channel also helped me with my patience was my biggest issue. But yeah, but anyway, guys, yeah, I'm still growing, guys. I'm still growing. My goal for this year is, let me put my goal out there so I can be held accountable. My goal is, which I have not achieved yet, getting in a trade in London and ride it until New York 11 o'clock. I have not achieved that yet. That's something that I'm working towards. But that is for me my next level. So it's out there, and hopefully I'm able to do that in 2026 because I'm too insecure. I want to get out before New York opens, and then maybe get back in when I see specific things happen. But I want to be in, position myself, London low or somewhere specific. But I'm still working on it. But I'm just sharing it. Um, whatever, guys. Hey, thank you, guys, and thank you for bringing me to 2,000 subscribers. Oh, 2019, guys, crazy. And again, for those in pre-market prep, please, please, please make yourself known on my Discord because I need to add you because I do not. I send updates through Discord if I'm not streaming, so you're missing out. Please, please, please. I'm still missing quite a bit from you guys. So I don't know if you're here, but if you are, please, please, please reach out to me. Okay, guys, I'm gonna have some food. I need to feed my kitties. I had a hey Arnix, how are you doing? Diamond here, I'll reach out to you. I'm looking forward to chat with you. Female energy, yay! And any other females, say hello. We want you. We want to know you. Oh wow, wow, the likes, guys, 80. Wow, hey Arnix, I did not ask one time for likes today. But Arnix, you know what I did ask for today? I asked because I was at 19 something and I said, Guys, let's bring it to 2000. I only asked for subscribers today because we had a milestone and we hit the 2000 milestone. So yeah, I never, I don't care. I actually don't care about it because I'm like, okay, I'm not really, I'm not an influencer. I'm not a, but guys, thank you. I can see now it shows appreciation. It translates to maybe value, even though I didn't trade, people still value what we talked about. We had some pretty awesome discussions today and, can you like us? Thank you, guys. Thank you. Guys, you're making me emotional. Wow, I'm gonna like this stream as well because it's that one is for you guys. That one is for you guys. Yeah, Mr. Chaos, and it's not about the growth itself, but it's the way how it's growing, right? It's about and the community. So are you live until 9:30 a.m.? So no, I have a pre-market prep that is a paid subscription that is just I just that's my main focus time. So I just did not want to make that a very big thing. But I tend to really do I try to actually be out of the market at 9:45 to be honest. I try to do one trade and then be done with it. But then there is trades after 10 o'clock. But I haven't really streamed New York yet. I did used to stream New York, but I stopped doing that because my focus was on London. But I might start getting back into it and doing something. I love New York PM session. But yeah, let's see. I mean, let's see how it goes, guys. Maybe I'll start doing New York as well again. Um, I'm still finding my way also as a YouTuber, like what's the balance? What do I like? What is my YouTube identity? Um, oh, guys, thank you. Hey, Maka. Oh, thank you. Wow, guys, what an awesome session today. Wow, I'm just I'm in awe today with you guys. But yeah, again, let's touch some grass. Let the market just, it's a bank holiday, Memorial Day, the US. I'll be back for pre-market prep for sure. And but today's not a real trading day. We're just gonna collect intel and be so ready for tomorrow. Maybe even Asia tomorrow. I don't know, but something's cooking. And I love it. I love it. So, ciao, guys. Thank you. Thank you so much. I love you so much. Thank you, guys. Yes, there's it's New York. You want to be careful with New York today, right? Because only half a day trading. So, but I'm sure there are other streamers doing it, but we'll see. We'll see. It's 50 day after Easter and Christian Day. Yes. Okay, I need to go warm up at the beach. I'm gonna have a nice I'm going to do a nice walk at the beach and think about the beautiful day ahead. Thank you guys. I'm so appreciative of the support that you guys are giving me. I'm highly, I can't say it enough, but um, for the people that have been with me already for quite a while and the new people that are coming in, it's just thank you so much. It is just the most rewarding thing that this YouTube channel can give me. And we are building a very nice community here. And I can't, I'm actually really emotional about it. So thank you guys. I love you. And I'll stay in touch on Discord as well. Ciao, ciao.